Scene project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are.
Hello, and I want to welcome everyone back to another episode of Soul Impact, How Music Saved Us. I'm your host, Wild Willie. Today I have back with me ZeXzy, because we filmed this episode prior, but we ran into some technology issues. So, ZeXzy, I want to thank you, buddy, for coming back. And we're just going to, you kind of already know what this is about and how it channels the mental health. So I'm not going to go into all that again, but why don't you kind of tell everybody who you are, what you got going on?
It's the Z, the E, the X to the ZY. ZeXzy. What's up, ladies and gents? It's your boy ZeXzy, and I am an eclectic musician all the way from Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. Now, resident in America, New York to be precise. I like different genres of music. I don't think music needs borders or barriers. It's always been my desire to be able to put myself on different records, be it a hip hop record, an R&B record, pop, classical music, and I get inspiration from different musicians from different genres of music, and they inspire me. I get songs from different genres and I record them. And yes, I just want to be the most eclectic musician this world has ever seen. That is my own mission statement, and that's my goal of going into this music business to begin with. So that's just me in a nutshell.
So, who would you say is your biggest music inspiration when it comes to the style they have and how you create your music?
It's very hard for me to choose, but if I have to put them, in an order, I would say first will be Michael Jackson, and next will be Bob Marley, who is somebody that I looked up to right from when I was a kid. He died even before I was born, but I grew up to meet, his works and fell in love with them, and I still love them till today. Um, I love Tupac. Yeah, I love Brian Adams. So as you can see, all of these guys are from different genres. Even Beethoven, Mozart, they're from different genres of music, and they all have influenced me greatly in their own ways. Because I listen to different types of music, given my mood for the day. So all of these guys have been very huge influences on my music career thus far.
Right on. And with you, you have such a wide range. You have such talent. You really do, buddy.
Thank you.
I've kind of been going, since we last talked, I kind of dived in a little more, and I kind of got your Spotify on my downloaded list. So, been listening to a lot of your stuff. I know you're from Nigeria. I was just wondering, how did that environment and where you're from, how did that shape your music and the direction you have taken it?
Yeah, growing up in Nigeria, you have to be immersed in a lot of politics and um, a lot of things happening around you. There are great things happening, there are bad things happening. Nigeria has the best and the worst of everything. We have, intellectual minds, Nobel laureates, Grammy Award winners. We also have, some not so wonderful things. So all of these things, your environment tend to play into your artistry. Growing up, reggae music was very popular in Nigeria. That's why I kind of liked Bob Marley a lot. Afrobeat was also very popular. Fela Nicola Bokuti is also one of those icons that has greatly shaped my sound today, because he was more of a guy who talked about the social things and the political things and all of those things happening in Nigeria. And he did it in such an Afrocentric way that caught people's attention around the world. And so Afrobeat was popular, reggae was popular. So when we come back from school, there's this program we call Midtime Melodies. You turn on the radio when they're playing maybe a reggae song or an Afrobeat song, and in some cases pop music, Michael Jackson and the rest of them. So um, listening to those sounds growing up kind of wired my subconscious to love reggae music, to love Afrobeats, to love pop music. Um, so when I grew up and wanted to start writing music, all of these different genres start to just pop out of my head as different songs. If I wanted to write a socially conscious song, I may want to do it, using Afrobeats. If I wanted to do a love song, I may want to do it as a pop song or an R&B song. R&B was also very popular. If I wanted to do a song about humanity, sometimes I may want to, use the reggae route. So all of these different sounds um, are there in my subconscious, and most times when I want to express myself musically, they just come out as any of these different genres.
Yeah, you can definitely hear that in your music. You really can. Like you can hear the different influences in your music. Um, so you kind of hit on it a little more, but I want to go a little deeper. What was that defining moment when you knew music was the path you wanted to take?
Okay, I would say it was during COVID in 2020, and I had been working a 9 to 5 job. At some point, I was really tired. I wasn't enjoying the job. I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and then when COVID happened, I was like, and the world was on lockdown. I told myself, I said, look, so assuming the world were to end today, what would you tell God you did with the talent that He gave you? Because even while I was working, songs still came to me. I would write gospel songs, I would write pop songs, I would write country songs. Like songs just kept coming to me. It wouldn't stop. So I knew that I had that talent to be able to do music. But I think COVID was the point, the breaking point for me where I felt like no, I it's either I want to live on my feet and even die on my feet rather than just crawling through life. So that was when I picked up my bags. I was in Benin City. I went to Lagos, which is the heart of music and entertainment in Africa, and just threw myself at the music. Um, you know, and just started meeting people and just seeing how much I could muster, and that's just basically how I got right into it, and then I got signed by Maple Grove Entertainment, and ever since then it's just been what it is. Um, it's a decision that I don't regret taking today, because if COVID had not happened, I would still be working my 9 to 5 job and just waiting to get old. So, but I think COVID was the breaking point for me where I turned and just said, no, I have to follow my music.
Right on. And like I said, I've said this once, I'll say it again. You can definitely see the passion you put into your music. How you've been called a genre bender. What draws you to blend all the different styles together?
Yeah, because I'm trying to come up with something unique. Um, let's say if you keep doing something the way it has always been done, then you're not going to do something new. So I try to I try to just let the music flow, because if you let the music flow, then and just take out the rules and just let the music do itself, um, you'll find out that you can come up with something innovative, maybe not entirely new, but something innovative. So that's what I do. I just let the music write itself. Um, I've heard Latin music over the years. I've heard reggae music. I've heard Afrobeats. I've heard salsa, merengue, reggaeton, all of these different genres of orchestra. So sometimes I'm just, because when I throw myself at a song, I just take out all of these rules, and sometimes you could see the orchestra just coming through, and then you see the Afrobeats just come through, and then you see the pop just come through. That's because I've allowed the music to write itself. So everything is taking its position, its rightful position in the scheme of things. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just letting it write itself. And when I'm done, I'll be like, okay, it seemed like I used like a Latin accent in this part of the song. And then I just went full Afro on this other part of the song. And then the chorus, I just went like doing the normal pop thing. So that's pretty much how I make music. I just let the genres flow, let the song flow, and let what will be. And when I'm done, I usually discover that all of those different genres of music that have influenced me are all in that one song.
So, how do you balance honoring your Nigerian roots while while experimenting with your global influences?
Yeah, I think it all boils down to, like I said, just allowing the inspiration flow. There are songs I get from my living in Nigeria. I just know, okay, this has to be when I was in Nigeria. The the message, the accent, everything just comes to me. I think I'm truly blessed in that regard, that when a song comes, I just know I just know where it's coming from, and I let it breathe. I don't try to westernize a Nigerian song. If I know that it's a Nigerian song, I try to make it as Nigerian as it can be. If it's a pop song, if it's a song that I think maybe is inspired by my American musicians that I've been listening to, I just let it be that way. I don't try to force it into a Nigerian vibe from an American vibe. So so for me, that kind of makes for a good balance, because it's my subconscious that produces all of these songs, and God gives them to my subconscious, and it comes right out as music. So I just let it flow naturally. So what is to be a Nigerian influence song, I let it go. What is to be an American influence song, I let it go. What is to be a European song, I just let it go. I mean, I write orchestral music, I write all types of music, and I just let them go the way they should go. So I think that for me has kind of like made me be able to strike a balance between my Nigerian influence and my influence from other parts of the world.
Do you feel music speaks differently to the audience in Nigeria versus the US?
Yeah, everything has to do with mood. Nigerians are actually very happy people. We were voted the happiest people in the world some years ago. I don't know if we're still holding that title, but Nigerians are very welcoming to different types of music and different influences. Um, so I think it just has to do with an open heart, and just there was a time Celine Dion was very popular in Nigeria. Whitney Houston was very popular in Nigeria. Brandy was very popular in Nigeria. Um, so those people have kind of helped to shape my own idea of what pop and R&B sounds like. And other Nigerians too, when I ask them, they'll tell me they enjoy music from Brandy, from Whitney Houston, Alicia Keys, and Celine Dion. So I just think good music is good music. It may have some cultural significance, especially when you're not hearing the language, but if it can move you and it can inspire a feeling in you, then it's good music. So um, I think Nigerians enjoy all types of music, regardless of the genre.
You hit on something, and I want to touch base on it. How did music help you adapt? Like coming from Nigeria to New York, how did music help you adapt with that?
I think music has always been something that has kept me grounded. Um, when I'm in my music world, I don't need anybody else. I can write, I can sing, I can do whatever I want. I'm very much okay with having myself as my own company. I don't, I, and yeah, we all need people, obviously, but I think I'm very content with being with myself and loving myself. Because sometimes when I make some music, I'm like, wow, did I just make this song? Did I just make this Afrobeat song? Did I just make this, country song? And it's amazing to me. It makes me happy. So sometimes when my day seems like it's going south, and I just get inspiration for a new song, it gets me through the day. And sometimes even if I don't write a new song for the day, I can I can binge on my other songs. I can think back on at my other songs and just say, wow, I was the one who wrote Air Hostess. I wrote Government Feast. I wrote this other song. Man, I think I think there's something great about me. So um, I think music has really helped me to go through those times that would have, normally been very rough for other people.
So, and you hit on your creative style a little bit. Walk us through the creative process from for a song from start to finish.
Yeah, the way I usually get my song is usually because I'm a very conscious person. I listen to the news all the time. I go out every day. I see people. I see how they relate. I try to talk to the ones that want to talk to me. So all of those things are in my subconscious, and usually they express themselves as music. Take for example with this whole Charlie Kirk shooting and um, and all of the crazy things that are happening in the world. It just reminded me of this a song that is on this album of mine. Every sound I just dropped, um, titled "So Much." And myself and my manager were talking about the killing of Charlie Kirk, and we kind of touched on the song like, okay, this was what you were talking about in your song "So Much," because I was talking about so much going on and the war in Gaza, the war in Russia, and Ukraine wanting more aid and all that. So once I internalize something, it comes out as music. And when it comes out like that, I could just be waking up from sleep. I was waking up this morning and a new song just came. And then I picked my phone because it felt like I was partially awake and I was partially asleep and I was performing somewhere. And I was singing this song that I have never sung before. And then I picked my phone. I was like, this sounds like a new song. I recorded it and then I went back to sleep. I played it later and I felt like this was a very nice pop song I just did. So what I now do is that I start playing that tune over and over again. I try to situate the title and the title gives me the right lyrics that I want to work with for the song. So I started find a message, and then once I have a message and I get the lyrics, I send it to my producer, maybe a voice note or something. He works on the beat, sends it back to me, I record it and I send it to the sound engineer. He mixes and master, and then the song is available for the world to listen. So that's pretty much a rundown of my own creative process.
So, you hit on your album Every Sound. It has 28 tracks.
Yeah,
How did you choose? Because I know you have more than that. How did you choose what 28 songs made that cut?
yeah, it had to do with me meeting up with the team of the album. The team of the album is Every Sound, and we wanted it to be the most eclectic album in the world, which we've been able to do. Um, so I mean, Afrobeat songs are obviously the most on the album. I think there are about 8 Afrobeat songs because I wanted the Afrobeat to look like an album in itself, the Afrobeat side of the song of the album, and then you hear the jazz part of it, and then you hear the reggaeton aspect, me going into the Caribbeans with um, Caribbean hype, Aurea, which is the Latin influence song, the reggaeton song, original, and then the flight took me from the Caribbean, and then I met an air hostess on that flight. You can see from this the song Air Hostess, and I went into America. I did The Best, which is a country song. Air Hostess is a folk song. Country, The Best is a country song. And then I went to urban America. From rural America, I went to urban America, where you had songs like Beast, Buffalo Vibes, which are hip hop songs. And then you hear Tranquility, which is a song that sounds like a Beethoven, a song from like the 1800s. Um, and then you hear other pop songs like Me Taking You to Europe, with pop songs like Stockholm and Soccer and so much. So the album is literally like a world tour of sounds, where we started from Africa with the Afrobeat song. We went to the Americas, we went into North America, we went from North America then to Europe. So all of those, the fact that I wanted to touch every continent of the world, um, inspired the track list. So when we look at this song, so okay, this one sounds like an Indian song. So we touched Asia with this one. Okay, this one is like rural America. Okay, this one is urban America. This one is European type of music. And this one is African type of music. And this one is Asian. So that was what um, kind of determined the songs we'll put on the album, because we wanted to do it um, as a cross cultural album, as a cross genre album, as the most eclectic album the world has ever seen.
So, do you create your music with like creating a live performance in mind, or you just focus on the recording?
Of course, I enjoy live performance because that's when you get to feel the energy of the audience and the kind of songs that they like. I remember going to a place to perform, and it wasn't the song that I thought they would like the most, that they loved the most. It was the Afrobeat songs, but this was a club that had only one black person and every other person was white. So I thought that maybe they would like the pop song more. But then somebody told me that he liked the Afrobeat songs more. So it gives you a raw um, feeling from people's perspective of what they really think about the music. And I really like being on stage because it shows a different part of me. I get to relate with the audience and feel their energy and how much they appreciate the different songs, and just generally know what gets them going. So I always have performance in mind when I write all of these songs.
So, how has music been a form of healing to help transform your own life?
Yeah, I mean, um, there are times when you just feel like it's all too much. You've had enough, and you just want to throw in the towel and just let everything be. Music has always been my go-to therapy. Um, there are times I just want to soak myself in soft rock. Um, there's this song, "These dreams go on when I close my eyes." You know, anytime I listen to that song, it just puts me in a realm. And there are different types of music like that. Brian Adams, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie's songs have this very calming effect. Songs like "Stuck on You," uh, "Deep River Woman," um, "All Night Long." I mean, Lionel Richie is actually one of my best musicians in the world, because his music just it's just this feeling that his music gives to me, and it just calms me down, and I can listen to music for hours and get up feeling energized. So music for me is therapy, and I use it a lot.
So, I know in our original interview, you talked about some struggles you faced with having your jaw wired.
Hmm.
Why don't you hit on that for a little bit if you don't mind me? Mind doing that?
Okay, yeah, I was in high school. I had a condition called rhinitis, where my sinuses were blocked. or rather, one nostril will be blocked for like 4 hours, and then after 4 hours, that one opens up, and then the other one closes. So I couldn't sing anymore. I had to complain to my dad that, man, I can't sing anymore. I was very depressed. And then I used the mirror to check my nostrils one of those days. I found out that I didn't have any hair in my nose anymore. And according to the explanation from the doctor, the hair in your nostrils is supposed to filter the air going into your nose, going into your system through your nose. And then there's this red thing around here called the turbinate that has minor hairs too. Well, that's supposed to do the secondary filtration. But for me, I don't know how it happened. How I lost the hairs in my nostrils, and somehow the turbinates, which are the two red things in there, had to do most of the filtration. So it had to grow out and block most of the nostrils. So I couldn't sing anymore, and I went for two nasal operations. They both proved abortive. I went in there and even came out worse than I went in. So when it would not heal, I had to just tell myself this singing isn't working anymore. I let it go. I started rapping with this very hoarse voice. That was when Big came into the fore. I was trying to rap. I would try to rap like Big because I now had this very deep voice. But then over the months, the hairs in my nose started growing. I'll see one strand in like 8 months, and then another strand in like 10 months. And gradually, as the strands of hair started coming back, my singing voice started getting better. And I wouldn't say I'm 100% now, but at least I can go to the studio to sing uh, the songs that I have in mind. I still would like to hit all of the notes I used to hit back then, um, but I know that I'm getting there. But that period was a very terrible time for me. I was very depressed. That's why when you hear my song on the album titled Leave, that was what I was talking about, where it almost felt like a choice between having to choose to leave or just end it all. But I chose to leave, and I chose to be kind to myself because I had all this smoke for myself, like, why are you like this and why is your life like this? But then I realized that I needed to be easy on myself and let it go. And the minute I let it go, I started having my healing. So that has been it's been a deep learning curve for me, and has made me a better musician today.
I cannot imagine having to go through that.
Yeah.
Um, so what message or emotion do you hope listeners carry away from every sound?
Yeah, I just want everyone to realize that you can set your own rules, you can do your own thing. Um, don't let people tell you you can't do it. When I was looking for a rock song on the album, I had done all the genres and I needed a rock song. I told myself, something inside of me would tell me, you think you can pull off a rock song? That seems to be way, way out of, the things that you're comfortable with. But I woke up one day to a rock song, and I also thought that my producer, who is primarily a pop producer, may not be able to, pull it off. And we went into the studio, we pulled it off. So it has gone to tell me that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. I've been able to do the most eclectic album in the world. What is that thing that people have told you that is impossible? You need to face your demons, face those fears, and trust me, you have it in you. If you've been given the dream, then you have it in you to make that dream come to reality. So believe in yourself, love what you do, and yeah, keep putting in the work, and you'll come out on the other side successful, just like I did with every song.
So, oh yeah, you definitely. And I've not got to hear every song because like there's a lot of songs, but I've listened to quite a bit of them, and you can definitely hear that message of hope in them. You really can. Um, how do you see music as a bridge between a culture and a community?
Yeah, I think There are different cultures like different types of music the most. Uh, because I believe music is a universal language, but then there are still specific cultures that like specific types of music. Once in a while, you could find a music that becomes a cross-cultural hit where everyone seems to like the song. Um, so for me, that's why I made every sound. Like there are songs that I think that maybe a certain type of people would like more, and and use that song to bring them into the album. Because I think sometimes the reason we don't even like a group of people, we don't like a certain type of music, is that we've not really taken our time to listen. So if, for example, somebody in rural America come into the album through Air Hostess, for example, or The Best, and then he listens to Buffalo Vibes that has orchestra sounds and some other exotic types of production, even if it is primarily a hip hop song, there is still the touch of orchestra and classical music in there that may hook the person to that sound and be like, wow, I never thought I'd like a hip hop song this much, but I think I'm beginning to even like it more than the air hostess that brought me. And somebody may come in, because he likes hip hop through Buffalo Vibes, and then would hear air hostess and be like, wow, this is really cool. I played this song just mistakenly came in when I was driving, on a hot summer afternoon, and I just found that it was very good for my afternoon drive. And then we'll get to now love that song. So the essence of every sound is to bring different cultures under one umbrella and have them cross into other cultures and be like, wow, I never thought I would like Afrobeat music, but I actually think it's very cool. Oh, I never thought I would like country music, but I actually think it's very cool. Um, so that's how I think cultures can be bridged using music.
So I love you too, but how did you connect? And you talked about them earlier. How did you connect with Maple Grove Entertainment, and what has that journey been like for you since you've connected?
Yeah, it was in 2021. I was had left my job and I was just doing music in Lagos and found my music online on YouTube and was like, okay, we think there's something here. Um, Music sounds good. How can we work together? And then I signed with Maple Grove, and ever since then, it's been about 5 years now, and it's been a blissful 5 years. Just churning out singles, working on releasing an EP, and now an album just came out about 3 weeks ago. It's been a very, very wonderful time. A lot of ups and downs, but we've been riding the wave, and yeah, I feel blessed um, to have such a great company behind me to push my music to the world.
What challenge do you feel you face as a Nigerian artist breaking into an international market?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I really. Yeah, I mean, um, there'll always be that thing when you come from somewhere else and you know you're trying to connect and network with people in other spaces that you're not used to. I mean, I understand the Nigerian system well. I know how to navigate my way around that system, the media, and all of that. But coming to America, you have to start, sometimes going on the streets and meeting people and asking questions and, learning the ropes. Um, because I've been funded by my label thus far, so I wouldn't say funding has been a problem. But just getting the right connections, getting the right playlists, getting the right uh, people to connect with, and take your music to the next level. I would say that networking aspect has been the most uh, challenging thus far, but we've been doing it.
Sorry, I lost my questions. I had to pull them back up. My phone
No,
went black on me.
no problem.
Uh, what advice would you give to an artist who wants to push beyond the traditional genre box?
Yeah, just but I think first of all you have to know that you're gifted at doing it. For me, I always knew that I could mimic different accents. I could um when I hear a song, I could internalize and interpret it my own way. So if you know first of all you have that talent and you know that you can interpret music in different ways using different genres, then you just need to let yourself go. Don't go in with a fixed mindset. Don't go in with a very fixed cultural mindset. You have to be fluid and just let things flow. When you let things flow and you let the music write itself, I think you'll be fine. It's when you come in rigid and you want to come in with everything that you know and just stay the same way. I think that's when it becomes a problem. But when you just let the music go and just do its own thing and you're inspired, I think you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, believing in yourself and staying true to you are is so important.
Yeah.
There's an old saying that I don't remember who said it, and I think I said it on our last interview. I don't remember, but it's one person with a belief is equal to a force of 99 with just an interest. And
That
Cheyenne, thank you. Um, but yeah, that just tells you the power of how important it is to believe in yourself.
yep.
Um, so what's next for you? Is there more videos? Is there tours? Do you see some collaborations coming up? What's next for you?
Of course, we're looking at a deluxe version of every sound album, a couple of remixes here and there. Hopefully, get some get some collaborations on the way down, and yeah, that deluxe version of the album is what's primarily next right now. And once that is out of the way, hopefully work on a tour and just keep going from there.
Right on. You just keep climbing, buddy. You keep doing what you're doing. You have an amazing potential, and
Thank
I
you.
see you going places.
Thank you, Willie. But from
Um,
you're listening to the album thus far, which would you say is your best song that has stuck out to you the most?
Honestly, I'm horrible with names, but it's Leave. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
That's the one that I mean. That's the one we talked about the
Mm-hmm.
most, and that one it just resonates with you. The message that it has.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna have you two different questions. So they're gonna be the same but different. If you could collaborate with any past artist,
Mm-hmm.
like an artist that is no longer with us, who would it be and why?
It'll be Michael Jackson because I mean I've always wanted to tap into his energy and just have that fiery influence and try to match his own energy. I think it will bring out something crazy in me.
The vocal range he has too. I mean, that man
Mhm.
had vocal range.
Yep, he did.
Um,
I'm very disciplined.
so if you collaborate with someone now, any artist, who would it be and why?
Hmm.
Like someone currently producing stuff.
Hmm. I'd love to work with Beyonce. Um, because she's very intentional with her craft and she comes with this feminine energy. I come with this masculine energy. So it's gonna be a clash of femininity and masculinity. Like it's gonna be a clash, and it's going to be explosive, like extreme masculinity and extreme femininity. So I think it will be explosive, and then the creativity is just going to be top notch.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, being the most eclectic artist in the world, um, doing stadium to stadium tours around the world, making at least $2 billion a year from my tours. And yeah, it's just going to be me on top of the world of music. Yes, that's where I see myself.
I want to thank you again for coming back. I think this one went a little smoother than the last one.
Yeah.
But I see big things going for you, buddy. Just stick with it. Stay true to who you are.
Thank you, Willie.
Why didn't you tell everybody where they can find you at on social media?
Yes, on Instagram you can find me at Mr. ZeXzy, MRZEXZY. On Facebook, ZeXzy, ZEXZY. On TikTok, King ZeXzy, KingZeXzy. On X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mr. ZeXzy, MRZEXZY.
Alrighty, y'all. This has been another great interview with ZeXzy.
Thank you.
Just remember, till next time, to love one another and encourage each other and build each other up.
Peace.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Willie. Bye bye.